and use your feints and keep Canelo on the defense. Don't let Canelo put you on the defense, because if he does, you're going to be in for a short night.
Roy Jones Jr. gives Edgar Berlanga a strategy on how he can defeat Canelo Alvarez in their upcoming clash. Canelo Alvarez taking on Edgar Berlanga on Mexican Independence Day weekend might not be the fight the fans wanted, but just getting to watch. Canelo on such a historic day is enough to draw crowds. Boxing veteran Roy Jones Jr., meanwhile, has given his predictions and a deconstruction of how the fight is going to shape up. Jones Jr. is one of the finest minds in the sport of boxing, and not just as a competitor, but also as a coach. So when he makes a prediction regarding a fight, fans and fighters alike just take his word for it. In an interview with Fight Hub TV, he spoke about how fans can have a great fight to watch if Berlanga can take a beating at Canelo's hands and still keep coming. If he, Berlanga, can take the onslaught and return it, then we have a great fight. If he can't take the onslaught, then we got ourselves a fight that's going to be good for 3 rounds, and it's going to be over. Jones says that for Berlanga to stand a chance against Canelo, he needs to impose himself on the champion. The chosen one is bigger than Alvarez, and he needs to use it to his advantage. This is a tactic that worked well for Dimitri Bivol against the Mexican fighter. He made the super middleweight champion very uncomfortable with his constant pressure and power. So, for Berlanga to find any success in the fight, he will have to follow the same strategy, according to Jones Jr., because once Alvarez gets into his rhythm, it's almost impossible to stop him, and Berlanga can't outskill him. Even trying to do so would be detrimental to his own chin. He said, to go out there and put Canelo on the defense, and use your feints, and keep Canelo on the defense. Don't let Canelo put you on the defense, because if he does, you're going to be in for a short night. In the same interview, Jones Jr. was further asked that if Canelo's on the defense, wouldn't it open more counter-punching opportunities for him? To which he replied that a fighter with powerful punches can discourage opponents from counter-attacking due to the risk of being hit by a strong counterpunch. He suggested that the key to Berlanga's success against Canelo Alvarez would depend on the precision and effectiveness of his punching power. If Berlanga's punches are sharp and accurate, they could make Canelo more cautious and less likely to counter. Conversely, if Berlanga's punches lack precision, Canelo might exploit this by slipping between them and landing his own counters. Thus, the outcome will hinge on how crisp and precise Berlanga's punches are.
Sometimes when a guy punches so big, guys don't want to take a risk of trying to counter because you might get caught between that counter. So that's why I say it depends on how effective Berlanga can be with his punching power. If he has precise punching power, then he'll make Canelo keep his hands at home. He won't be as willing to counter. But if they're not precise punches, then Canelo gonna come between them. So that'll all be determined on how good Berlanga's punches are, how crisp, how sharp, how precise.
The Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez fight is something boxing fans have been begging for. They want to see the undisputed super middleweight champion take on Mike Tyson's favorite boxer at the moment, but it still hasn't come to pass. And despite fans and experts accusing Canelo of ducking, it doesn't seem like the fight is taking place anytime soon. Besides, both fighters seemingly have other plans for their careers. That said, in the same interview, Roy Jones Jr. spoke about what could happen if Benavidez were to box Canelo. Jones Jr. believes that Benavidez will lather Canelo up with powerful punches, and the Mexican boxer doesn't want to face that kind of power, especially when it comes with a rather large gas tank. Throws a lot of punches, who we haven't really seen hurt yet, who has a very good gas tank, and who's big for the weight class. Everything Canelo don't want to see, David Benavidez is that. Coming back to the upcoming potential opponent of Alvarez, Edgar Berlanga. In an interview with Fight Hub, Berlanga went on to disrespect Alvarez as he said harsh words and explained that even his own nation, Mexicans, don't like Alvarez.
A lot of Mexicans don't like him. A lot of Mexicans don't like him. I go to Mexico a lot. They don't like him. They like us. He's a come mierda. That's how they say it in Spanish in Puerto Rico. Come mierda. A person that eats.
Edgar Berlanga explained that while he respects his opponents before a fight, that changes once the contract is signed. He said it becomes a business where his opponent will aim to defeat him decisively, regardless of any personal respect. Berlanga highlighted that he will have his family present, and his opponent will be focused on using all his skills to win, treating the fight as a fierce, gladiatorial battle. I could be cool with a fighter, but once the contract is signed, it's like there, no more respect, 'cause it's business. You know why? It's business, 'cause he's going going to go in there, try to kill me. I'm going, have my son there, my mom there, my sister's there, my father's in the corner. He going to try to knock my head off. You know what I'm saying. Like, this is gladiator school, this is a gladiator fight. He's going to come with his souls and his knives and his tools to come and take my head off. Mark Farate gave his prediction on the upcoming clash. Farate is the trainer who turned Edgar Berlanga pro, although they parted ways for a while before working together again in 2023. Farate explained that the preparation for this fight is not limited to Canelo's last fights, but that they are planning a strategy for all his previous fights, which is the best way to face him. You have to look at all of them, the fights, because if you focus on the last 3 fights, then you're a fool, right? Because you don't know what exactly he's going to bring, said Farate. Canelo Alvarez is a great fighter. He's a legend. You can prepare for the way he fought Charlo or the way he fought Munguia, but then he'll give you something totally different. You just have to be ready for any surprise. You just prepare for a little mix of everything, the trainer specified, and mentioned Canelo's win against Gennady Golovkin in 2017, 2018, and 2022, and the loss to Floyd Mayweather in 2013. All together, man, you have to look at his work, so that's what we've been doing. Jose Benavidez Sr. explained that even though Berlanga thinks that he hates him, he would still cheer for Berlanga. Benavidez Sr. noted that Berlanga is a young and talented fighter who should take all the belts in the upcoming clash, so the other fighters in the weight class can get bigger opportunities, but also thinks that it's hard to stand against Canelo, as he's one of the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world.
Even though Berlanga says that I hate him and I talk a lot about him, I'm cheering for him. I think I wish him the best. I think he's a young fighter, very talented. I think if he trains, it looks like he's training hard, he's super disciplined, we could have a big upset. And I would love for him to beat Canelo so he can take all those belts away, and then all these other fighters have a better opportunity. With Canelo, you never know what's happening, you know. He doesn't have, Berlanga doesn't have that power, you know, to choose and do whatever he wants at this point. So that, I think that will give more opportunity to all the 168s. But at the end of the day, Canelo's a great fighter, pound for pound the best, and I think he can adjust, and I think this style is going to fit for him, you know, to beat Berlanga. But I'm cheering for Berlanga.
Boxing might be an ever-evolving sport, but one constant remains: Eddie Hearn's presence in any discussion involving Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. In his latest comments, the British promoter has described the upcoming fight between Berlanga and Canelo as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that Berlanga couldn't pass up. Despite the odds being stacked against Berlanga, Matchroom Boxing's head, Eddie Hearn, insists that his fighter is more than ready for the challenge. You never truly know if you're ready to face someone like Canelo until you're in the ring with him, because he's at such an elite level, Hearn told DAZN. But Berlanga has a big heart, a lot of faith, and he's ready to compete on September 14th. It's Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Danny Garcia has urged Edgar Berlanga to be patient when he steps into the ring with Canelo Alvarez this weekend. Garcia, a former world champion, will appear on the Canelo versus Berlanga undercard when he faces Arislandi Lara for the middleweight world title. The Philadelphia fighter is ready to go, and he's had his say on what Berlanga must do if he's to secure a shock victory. He's Berlanga strong and needs to try to be patient, said Garcia when speaking to World Boxing News. Jaime Munguia was too aggressive, and it went against him. Take your time. It's easy to say until Canelo's in front of you, but keep him at a distance like Bivol did, and try and control the fight as much as you can. Ryan Garcia confidently predicts that Canelo is going to get his hands raised against Edgar Berlanga. He said that he won't even go to the event as he already knows that Canelo is going to win. Garcia predicted a knockout victory for Alvarez in the 6th or 9th round of the fight.
So you don't even need to go to the Canelo fight because you know he's going to win?
Yes.
It's
no disrespect to boxing to Canelo,
right?
But we know Canelo is going to win. By knockout, let me see, 6th or 9th round.
Oscar De La Hoya believes Saul Canelo Alvarez's star power is set to take a serious hit. The fighter-turned-promoter guided a significant part of Canelo's career before a bitter split and legal case ensued. The two, particularly De La Hoya, regularly still trade shots via the media. De La Hoya's latest criticism of the pound-for-pound star is his matchmaking. He feels Canelo, who holds 3 of the 4 major super middleweight belts, is avoiding David Benavidez and taking an easy touch in #1 contender Edgar Berlanga. Okay, so we're a week away from the boxing match that nobody asked for, and the UFC event that everybody will be watching. Canelo's fighting Berlanga, another snooze fest. They're trying to sell a pay-per-view for $90 at $500 minimum in person. It's just robbery at this point, to pay for another lame Canelo fight that will go the distance against a subpar opponent. De La Hoya then predicted the event, which goes head-to-head with the UFC's event in the Sphere, will sell less than 100,000 pay-per-views. It would be a first for Canelo, who has regularly topped 500,000 and been win over the million mark on some occasions. I'm the PPV king, and the Canelo versus Edgar Berlanga fight will not exceed 100K homes. Nobody is paying $90 for this snooze fest. Just speaking the facts as always. Bernard Hopkins is backing Canelo Alvarez to score a stoppage win against Edgar Berlanga when the pair collide in Las Vegas later this month. It is little surprise then that Hopkins, a former world champion himself, has backed Canelo for victory, tipping the Mexican icon to retain his titles. Canelo gets the knockout within 6 or 7 rounds, said Hopkins when speaking to Little Giant Boxing. I'm going with Canelo. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Anything can happen, right? But if you ask me who I'm going for if I have to put money down, Canelo all day. Teofimo Lopez thinks that the fight won't even go to the 5th or 6th round. He said that he has a good bond with Berlanga, but also acknowledges Alvarez's greatness. He thinks that Alvarez is one of the great pound-for-pound boxers for a reason. Lopez compared both fighters and said that Canelo has the better chin and power to KO, whereas Berlanga doesn't possess the power to KO Alvarez, and eventually predicted that Canelo will rip Berlanga apart in the 6th.
I don't see this fight going by past 6 rounds. Berlanga is a good friend of mine. I love him, you know what I'm saying? But you got to say it like it is, you know what I'm saying? Canelo's in the pound-for-pound list for a reason. You know, Canelo got a chin. Canelo could pop, you know, and I don't see Berlanga, you know, he don't got that power to knock out Canelo. You know what I'm saying? So what I see in the fight, Canelo walking him down and ripping him apart by the 6th round.
Promoter Steven Espinoza is confident that Edgar Berlanga will pose a significant challenge for Canelo Alvarez in their upcoming bout. Espinoza believes both fighters are fiercely determined to win. In an interview with Boxing Scene, he stated, "Both fighters showed a bit of spark, some fire, some emotion, and you clearly got the sense that Berlanga is not a guy who is there just to show up, that he's motivated, that he's not intimidated, and all of that really helps because when you've got a guy as experienced and as accomplished as Canelo, one of your big challenges is convincing people that his fights will be competitive." Teddy Atlas expressed his candid view on the fight, noting that he wasn't surprised by the announcement. He recognized Berlanga's youth, talent, and unbeaten record, but also highlighted a key concern: Berlanga's lack of experience at the elite level.
And listen, it's not a knock. I'm here not to make friends. I'm here to state things that I believe are based to the truth in this business, or attached to the truth. He's the guy who can handpick who he wants to fight. In Berlanga, I wasn't surprised. No, I'll be honest. I wasn't surprised at all. I figured he was the front runner. He's got an undefeated record. He's coming off a good win. You know, he's a young, talented fighter, but he's an inexperienced fighter at this level.
So what do you think about this fight? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.